Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. You know we love digging into these entrepreneurial journeys, and today we have a really fascinating one.
Really fascinating, yeah.
So let's jump right in. We're taking a look at this digital marketer who's making a pretty big shift.
He is. It's interesting how he's moving away from niche site SEO into building a service-based business from scratch.
Yeah, a B2B agency,
Oh,
actually.
no, B2B.
And we've got a whole stack of his YouTube videos where he kind of chronicles his journey.
Yeah, he's documenting the whole process pretty openly.
Which is awesome. Okay, so give me the rundown.
Mm.
What exactly is this agency going to focus on?
So it looks like he's zeroing in on CRM, email, marketing, sales automation.
So basically helping businesses streamline all those interactions with customers and manage their sales process more effectively.
Exactly. But here's what I find really interesting. He's putting a huge emphasis on speed as his, unique selling proposition.
Okay, now you've got to explain that one. How does speed play into this?
Well, think about it. Most agencies have this reputation for taking forever to get things done. Projects drag on for months.
Oh yeah, I've heard those horror stories.
Right. And he's positioning himself as the complete opposite. He's all about quick implementations, fast turnaround times, quick wins for his clients.
I like that. It's like he's addressing a pain point that so many businesses experience. I can definitely see the appeal. But how's he planning to get the word out? Is he sticking with SEO or is he trying something different this time?
He's actually branching out, and it's a pretty smart approach. He's creating this thing he calls the book.
Ooh, the book sounds intriguing.
It's basically this comprehensive guide, almost like a blueprint, to help businesses improve their processes.
Oh, okay. So a really in-depth lead magnet to attract potential clients.
Exactly. And the cool thing is he plans to offer it for free initially to generate interest and build that trust.
I like that strategy. Give away some valuable knowledge up front, establish yourself as an expert.
Right. And then eventually he wants to package it up and sell it as like a physical book and an ebook as well.
Smart. It's like creating this ultimate playbook for businesses packed with actionable advice they can implement immediately. But he doesn't just want to sell it. He wants it to be so good that people can't help but tell others about it.
He's talked about drawing inspiration from how consistently he's been selling nonfiction books on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. He knows what people are willing to buy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the book is like the foundation. But how's he going to leverage that to build his agency?
This is where it gets really interesting. He's going for a build once, repurpose many approach.
Okay, I'm listening.
So he's creating videos explaining each step in the book. Then he's going to turn those videos into shorter clips for his social media and even full-fledged articles for his website or places like LinkedIn.
Wow. It's like he's created this self-sustaining content ecosystem. Everything feeds back into itself, driving traffic and leads to his agency.
Exactly. And to add even more value, he's building interactive calculators too.
Calculators. Okay, now I'm really curious. What are those for?
They're designed to help potential clients actually see the potential return on investment from using his services. They'll be able to plug in their own numbers and visualize the impact his agency could have on their business.
That's such a smart idea, providing tangible value right up front, overcoming any hesitation about pricing. It's not just telling them, it's showing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's talk pricing, because he's actually moving away from low-cost offerings. He's shifting towards a higher ticket service model.
Makes sense. He's not interested in those small-scale projects anymore. He wants clients who are ready to invest in growth.
Yep. And he's got this multi-tiered approach to make it work. He'll have done-for-you services where his team handles everything. DIY options with detailed instructions based on the book, and even modules focusing on specific areas.
So there's flexibility for different needs and budgets, but even the DIY options aren't going to be cheap, right?
Definitely not. He's positioning himself as a premium service provider.
It sounds like he's taking what he learned from his previous ventures and applying it here. He always said those nonfiction books were his most consistent sellers.
Yeah, and he's using that same approach here, creating valuable content that people will pay for.
And don't forget about the affiliate marketing angle.
Oh, right. He'll be weaving in recommendations for tools and software within his content, too.
So it's not just the services he's offering directly, it's multiple income streams, all stemming from that one core resource, the book.
Exactly. It all ties together. Now, here's a little detail I found kind of funny. To stay on top of everything, he's actually using a physical sketch pad.
Really? In this day and age, that's surprising.
I know, right? But he says it helps him stay focused and manage all those moving parts. It's just a simple tool, but it works for him.
I love that. It's a good reminder that sometimes the simplest solutions are the best. It's not always about the fanciest apps or software. But okay, before we get too deep into pricing, I think it's important to point out something crucial here.
Yeah, I agree. He's being incredibly deliberate about this whole process. He's not rushing to get clients before he has his core offerings, his systems, his pricing all figured out.
It's so refreshing to see that he's building a solid foundation for long-term success, not just chasing quick wins.
Exactly. Now, I'm sure some people are wondering, is he abandoning SEO altogether?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to ignore completely, especially in a competitive space like digital marketing.
He definitely acknowledges the importance of SEO, but he's not making it his primary strategy this time around. He sees creating high-quality content as a way to establish his expertise and build authority, even if it doesn't translate to top rankings right away.
It's a long game. He's building an asset that will continue to grow in value, and those articles he's making from his videos, they'll attract organic traffic eventually. Plus, he can use them as sales tools.
Exactly. He can share those articles with potential clients to show them what he knows.
It's all about repurposing that content, getting the most mileage out of it.
Exactly. And he's mentioned turning his website into like a hub for all things CRM and marketing automation with those calculators we talked about.
So he's creating a one-stop shop for businesses looking to optimize their operations. Now, this brings up another interesting point. He seems to be moving away from what he calls low-budget clients.
Yes, he's very clear about wanting to work with clients who understand the value he brings and are ready to invest in a solution that delivers results.
So let's dive into that. What has he revealed about his ideal client profile and how he plans to find them?
Well, he's looking for companies who are, he's looking for companies who are serious about growth,
Yeah.
you know, have a need for the specific services he offers, and are willing to invest in a solution that actually delivers tangible results.
So not just any business, but those that are a good fit for his expertise and his pricing model. It sounds like he's learned from past experiences and is being more selective about the clients he takes on.
Absolutely. He wants to work with clients who get the value he brings to the table and are ready to commit to actually improving their operations. And you know what? He's not afraid to walk away from opportunities that don't align with his vision. He's actually mentioned turning down clients in the past who weren't a good fit, even if it meant leaving money on the table.
That's a good sign. It shows he's prioritizing building a sustainable business with those strong client relationships rather than just chasing every dollar. It's quality over quantity. But how does he plan to actually find these ideal clients?
Well, he's already mapping out his outreach strategy. He mentioned using tools to identify companies that are using specific CRM platforms that he knows he can improve upon.
So he's being strategic with his targeting, focusing on businesses that are likely to be receptive to his services. That makes a lot of sense. He's not just casting a wide net and hoping for the best.
And remember those cold email templates he talked about using for his previous job board venture?
You mean the ones that were short to the point and focused on getting straight to the value proposition?
Exactly.
Huh.
He's planning to adapt those for this new agency, tailoring them to highlight the benefits of switching to a more robust CRM system or implementing effective marketing automation.
It's a back-to-basics approach. No fancy marketing funnels, just clear, concise communication that gets the job done. It's refreshing to see someone focus on the fundamentals rather than getting caught up in the latest marketing trends.
I agree. And he's not afraid to experiment either. He's talked about testing different email subject lines and messaging to see what resonates best with his target audience. It's a data-driven approach that'll let him constantly refine his outreach efforts.
He seems to be really methodical in his approach. It's impressive. Speaking of methodical, let's circle back to his pricing strategy. You mentioned a multi-tiered approach. Can you break that down for me?
Of course. So at the top level, you have the done-for-you service. This is where his agency comes in and handles everything for the client. They get the full CRM implementation, email marketing setup, sales automation, the whole 9 yards. It's perfect for businesses that want a hands-off approach and have the budget to invest in a premium service.
It makes sense that this would be his highest priced offering. But what about businesses that are maybe a little more hands-on or have a tighter budget?
Well, that's where the do-it-yourself option comes in. It's essentially a guided approach. Clients get access to that incredibly detailed resource, the book, which outlines all the steps involved in setting up and optimizing these systems. Think of it as a comprehensive blueprint they can follow at their own pace.
So it's like having a digital consultant guiding them through the process. That's a great alternative for businesses that want more control or are working with limited resources.
Exactly. And he's also planning to offer individual modules that focus on specific areas. So if a business just needs help with their email marketing, for example, they can purchase just that module. It allows for a lot more flexibility and customization.
That's brilliant. It caters to a wider range of needs and budgets. He's really thought this through. But you mentioned earlier that even with the DIY options, he's not aiming for bargain basement pricing.
Oh, definitely not. He's made it very clear that he's positioning himself as an expert worth investing in. He's not interested in competing on price. He's competing on value and results. He's actually shared some insights into how he's approaching his pricing page, which I found really interesting.
Oh, what's he doing?
Well, he's actually going to have a calculator built into the pricing page. This way, potential clients can plug in their own numbers and see exactly what their investment would look like based on the services they choose.
That's incredibly transparent. I love that. It gives potential clients a clear understanding of the costs involved upfront, which can be really helpful in the decision-making process. No more hidden fees or surprises.
Right. He's all about clarity and empowering his clients.
Mhm.
He even wants to incorporate different levels of interaction within those pricing tiers. So you'd have the premium done-for-you option where his team handles everything.
Which makes sense for that top-tier service. They're paying for the expertise and the convenience.
Exactly. But then with the DIY options, he wants to offer different levels of support. So maybe with the full do-it-yourself package, you get access to a private community forum where you can ask questions and get feedback from his team.
Oh, that's a great idea. It provides an extra layer of support and guidance for those who choose to go the DIY route. It's like a safety net knowing they have experts they can turn to if they get stuck.
He's really thought of everything, hasn't he?
It seems that way. And he's clearly passionate about helping businesses succeed. But let's not forget about the book and how central it is to his entire strategy.
You're right. It all comes back to that core resource. It's the foundation for his content marketing, service offerings, his pricing model, everything.
It's incredible how he's managed to create this entire ecosystem around a single piece of content. It's a testament to the power of having a clear vision and executing it strategically. But what about his analog approach to staying organized? That physical sketch pad he mentioned.
Oh, yes. I wanted to touch on that. It's such a refreshing contrast to the all-digital approach that many entrepreneurs take. He's mentioned keeping it right under his keyboard so it's always within reach.
It's a great reminder that sometimes the simplest tools can be the most effective. It's about finding what works for you and not feeling pressured to follow the crowd. Maybe he sketches out his client outreach strategies or brainstorms new ideas for his book.
That's a great point. We're getting a glimpse into his creative process. It's not just about the digital tools and platforms. It's about finding ways to stay focused and organized amidst all the chaos.
And then speaking of staying focused, I love how he's being so deliberate about the pacing of his launch. He's prioritizing getting all his core offerings systems and pricing in place before actively pursuing clients.
It's a long-term play, and I really admire his patience and discipline. In a world that's obsessed with hustle and instant gratification, his approach is a breath of fresh air.
It is. He's laying the groundwork for a sustainable business that can thrive for years to come.
Okay, so we've covered his vision, his unique selling proposition, his content strategy, his pricing model, his ideal client profile, and even his analog approach to staying organized. Is there anything else we should highlight before we wrap up?
Well, one thing that stood out to me was his emphasis on building a community around his agency.
Oh, that's right. He mentioned wanting to create a Facebook group or online forum where his clients could connect and share ideas. Tell me more about that.
It's a really cool idea. He sees it as a way to provide ongoing support, foster collaboration and create a sense of belonging among his clients.
So it's more than just a service provider-client relationship.
It is. It's like building this network of businesses that can all learn from and support each other.
I love that. He's not just selling a service, he's creating a community.
Exactly. And he really believes that this community aspect will be a key differentiator for his agency. It's not something you see very often in the B2B space.
Especially in digital marketing.
Yeah.
It can feel pretty transactional. Right, so this is like a breath of fresh air. It shows he's committed to having a positive impact on the businesses he works with.
So to recap, we've got this entrepreneur building a B2B agency with a focus on speed transparency, delivering real results, and fostering a strong community. He's creating valuable content, building multiple income streams, targeting his ideal clients, and even using a physical sketch pad to stay organized.
It's a really solid setup. And what I find inspiring is how open he's being about the whole journey. He's not just giving us the highlights. He's showing the behind the scenes of building a business.
It's super valuable for anyone thinking about starting their own business or even just looking for ways to improve what they're already doing. He's showing that there's more than one way to do
You
things.
don't have to follow the traditional rules.
Exactly. You can create a business that reflects your values. So what can our listeners take away from all this? Even if you're not in the B2D space, there are some great lessons here. Think about how you can repurpose what you already know to create multiple income streams.
And how you can use different platforms to reach the right people and build that community around your brand.
This reminds me of something. Could you create a comprehensive resource like his book around your area of expertise? Think about that. It could help you generate income and become known as an authority in your field.
Definitely something to consider.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even sparked some new ideas for your own projects. Until next time, keep learning and keep diving.